Hello, I'm Gavin Hoey and you're watching the Technique of the Month from Digital Photo Magazine. On this month's cover CD, you'll find a magnifying glass template, and I'm going to show you how you can magnify an image using the template and Paint Shop Pro. Now, I've already got the template open, and I also need a picture, so I've got one here that I want to use. Now, this is a good picture because it has a small area on the picture here that really could do with being made bigger. In fact, you could say it could be magnified. What we need to do is to get this picture onto the template. Come up to Edit and choose Copy. And then close this down. We don't need this anymore. We've copied it, so it's safe in the memory. And go up to Edit and choose Paste as New Layer. Now that'll bring the picture back again, and now you can start to see how this template's going to work. So we've got the image, the template, but what should happen, of course, is that anything inside of this magnifying glass should become expanded and bigger. But before we make anything bigger, you need to be happy with the position of the magnifying glass. Now open up the Layers palette, because there's a few layers we need to look at. F8 on the keyboard will bring the layers on screen, and you'll see you've got 4 layers. Top 2 are all about the magnifying glass, and those are together. Those are one single magnifying glass that make it up. Underneath we've got the image that you've just pasted on, and below that you have a layer that you can ignore because it doesn't add anything in Paint Shop Pro. Now at this stage, if you want to move the magnifying glass, you need to be working on the layer. So click the layer called magnifying glass. You'll see these 2 layers are linked together. So if you want to move it, you can get the Move tool. Wouldn't recommend the Pick tool. Go with the Move tool, and you can move things around. But a little tip here. Hold the Shift key as you try and move it, because quite often you'll find you'll end up moving the background image and not the magnifying glass. That seems to happen quite regularly. So I'm just going to shuffle it down here just so I center up the magnifying glass over the tiny little ladybird. Right, the next thing to do is to make a selection of the inside of this magnifying lens. So with the Magic Wand tool, I'm just going to click inside, anywhere inside this lens, just like that. And that makes a selection. Back to the layers again, and this time we need to be working on the main picture, the one at the bottom there. And we'll come up to Edit and choose Copy. Then back to Edit and choose Paste as New Layer. And that will copy that layer and paste it in. But you'll notice it doesn't put it in the same place as it started. In fact, it shuffles it off to the side. Not to worry. Let's get rid of the selection. Select and None. And then we'll get the Move tool. Again, we'll hold the Shift key and we'll just bring that back into place somewhere around about there somewhere. It doesn't have to be absolutely perfect because we're going to do a little bit of work on this. Right, next thing to do is to magnify that bit of the image. Now I need another selection. In fact, I need that reselected. So let's get the Magic Wand tool. Click just outside of the magnified area this time, like that. And then come up to Selections and Invert. Okay, so we're back pretty much where we were before. Now to make this enlarged, we're going to use an effect. So come up to Effects, choose Geometric Effects, and right at the bottom you'll find one called Spherize. Now the Spherize is going to make things enlarged, okay? Bigger and more enlarged. Strength, well, you can put any strength you like in here. Put a negative strength in, and in fact it doesn't make it enlarge, it makes it smaller. But we're going to put a massive amount in, 100 all the way up to the top. Click OK, and that's going to enlarge it. You can see our little ladybird gets a bit bigger, and the edges around here have got slightly distorted as well. And that's fine, but I reckon we can go a bit more than that. So let's go up to Effects again, choose Geometric Effects, and choose Spherize once again. Now we'll keep the settings the same, maximum strength, and click OK. Now that's looking pretty good. But if you need it bigger still, you could apply it a third time as well. But I think we'll stop there. Right, we'll get rid of the selection, select None. And we'll work on the lower layer. Now this is the Raster 1 layer, the one at the bottom. This is your main background image. Okay, so we're going to blur it using Adjust, Blur, and then Gaussian Blur. Now the reason we're blurring it is if this was a real thing, then the image inside of the magnifying glass would be sharp and the outer areas would be blurred. So we're going to blur it with Gaussian Blur. We're going to put the radius anywhere between about 10 and 15, tends to work pretty well, and click OK. and that's going to blur that up in just a second. There we go. Righty-ho, so there we are. There is our template completed. We now have our enlarged magnified lens and our blurred out background behind.